This deep dive, tailored just for you, the learner. It's always fascinating to see what the top travel bloggers are up to, and Eddie and Mark are absolutely on fire in the Southeast Asia scene.
They really are, constantly putting out fresh content.
Yeah, it feels like we were just following Mark's explorations along the Seoul Rap River in Ho Chi Minh City, wasn't it?
And then Eddie was in Boracay.
Exactly. That 3-day tour at the Paradise Garden Resort Hotel for the Digital Nomad Convention. These guys, they just don't stop.
Definitely
Well,
giving us that valuable, boots on the ground view.
totally. And now their latest adventure takes them to Thailand. They've just put out this piece, 21 Things I Wish I Knew Before Traveling to Thailand.
Right, with the subtitle, Watch Before Coming Here, Wish You Knew These Secrets. They're not subtle.
Not at all. So our deep dive today is all about unpacking their Thai experiences, pulling out those really key insights that could help you, the learner, plan your own trip.
And hopefully make you feel excited, prepared, not overwhelmed.
Exactly. Let's get into it.
Okay, so their first point is a big one. Timing your visit.
Right, Thailand. Tropical country. It basically has two main seasons, they say, dry and wet.
That's the core of it. And they strongly suggest aiming for travel between January and June or later in the year, October through December.
Okay, and why those times specifically? Better weather.
Generally, yeah. Less rain, more sun. Just makes exploring, easier and probably more fun.
Makes sense. Because here's the flip side. They warn about July and August, the peak rainy season.
And they don't just mean a bit of rain. They're talking significant downpours, maybe even flooding. They mentioned past issues in Bangkok.
Yeah, Bangkok and other provinces too. It's a real possibility.
Yeah.
So that timing isn't just about comfort. It could genuinely impact your travel plans.
Have you seen that kind of thing elsewhere in Southeast Asia?
Oh, absolutely. Monsoon seasons can be intense. Sometimes you get deals, fewer crowds, sure.
But the trade-off is disruption.
Exactly. Risk of heavy rain, messing with transport, activities, something to weigh up. Okay. Good to know. So point two, this is a practical one, airports in Bangkok.
Right, this could easily catch people off guard. Unlike cities with just one main airport, Bangkok has two big ones.
Suvarnabhumi, PKK.
Yep, that's BKK. And the other is Don Mueang, DMK.
Why two? Seems a bit unusual.
Well, Don Mueang, DMK, used to be the main international one. Then Suvarnabhumi opened back in 2006.
Okay.
But instead of closing DMK, they kept it running, mainly now for budget airlines, domestic flights, that sort of thing.
So it definitely could cause confusion if you're not aware. Maybe you have a connecting flight.
For sure. Their advice is simple. Just double-check your airport code, BKK or DMK, when you book, and check again for any onward travel.
Right. Avoid that last-minute panic. Okay. So from airport logistics to something you feel the second you step off the plane, the climate.
Yes, point three, the heat and humidity. It's real.
And it sounds like really real. Eddie's story about needing multiple t-shirts, multiple shorts in just one day.
Yeah, that paints a picture, doesn't it?
It really does. Makes you rethink your packing list immediately.
Lightweight, breathable clothes are key. And the humidity, often makes it feel even hotter than the thermometer says.
Ugh. They had some survival tips, though. Refreshing wipes.
A definite must-have. Simple, but effective for a quick cool down.
And this white hoodie idea for sun protection. Eddie's signature item, apparently. A bit surprising.
It sounds counterintuitive, maybe, but it actually makes sense. Light colors reflect sun.
Right. Unlike dark colors that absorb it.
Exactly. And a lightweight hoodie gives you sun cover without being too heavy.
Oh,
It's
really?
pretty smart, actually.
Okay. And they mentioned it stays warm even at night.
Oh, yeah, don't expect cool evenings. Still warm, still humid, usually.
Good to be prepared. All right, moving from climate to culture. Point four, footwear etiquette. Temples and homes.
Super important. This is a basic sign of respect in Thailand. Always take off your shoes, slippers, whatever, before going into a temple or someone's house.
And the reason they gave is interesting, about feet being considered the, lowest or dirtiest part of the body.
Yeah, that's a common perspective in many Eastern cultures. The head is considered the highest, most sacred part, and the feet the lowest.
So contrasts with maybe some Western views.
Definitely. So pointing feet at people or putting them up high, that's also a no-no. Removing shoes is like leaving the outside dirt and impurities behind when you enter a special place, whether it's sacred or someone's personal space.
Makes total sense. Shows the importance of just being aware. Okay, their next point, number five, touches on something potentially tricky. Social interactions, specifically politics.
Yes. Given how complex things can be politically in Thailand, their advice to just, avoid discussing politics in public is probably very sensible for visitors.
Easy to put your foot in it unintentionally.
Very easy. And then there's the really critical part they
The
mentioned.
royal family.
Exactly. Deep sensitivity there. They stress, never express negative opinions, don't even really get into conversations about it in public. It's a serious offense.
Legally serious, right?
Yes. Under the lèse-majesté laws, the monarchy is deeply revered, tied into national identity, history, religion. It's not something visitors should comment on publicly. Safest bet. Avoid the topic completely.
Absolutely crucial advice. Okay, moving on. Point 6 shifts to geography. Thailand is big.
It really is. People might underestimate the scale. Eddie compared it to the Philippines, island hopping there.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you an idea of the distances.
They mentioned key spots, Phuket, Pattaya, and south of there, Bangkok, of course, and then Chiang Mai, which is like a 14-hour trip from Bangkok.
Yeah, a long haul really drives home that you need to plan realistically.
Right.
You can't just zip between all these places in a week.
No way. And that little anecdote about meeting someone from just 3 hours north of Bangkok,
Right.
it hints at those less touristy areas to me.
Right. The more down-home parts of the country beyond the main hubs. Different vibe entirely.
Cool. So getting around those hubs, especially Bangkok,
Mhm.
point 7, public transport.
This is where the BTS SkyTrain and the MRT subway really shine. They are fast, they're efficient, and crucially, air-conditioned.
Oh, the aircon alone would sell me. A real escape from the heat and traffic.
Definitely. They contrasted it with tuk-tuks and songthos.
Those pickup trucks with benches.
Yeah. Fun for a short ride, maybe, but they get stuck in traffic just like everything else. So for covering ground quickly in Bangkok,
BTS and MRT are the way to go. Any tips for using them?
they're pretty user-friendly, actually. English signs, mostly. You can get single tickets or grab a stored value card, like a rabbit card. A transit app on your phone helps too.
And Eddie seemed to really get into the BTS, talking about Mark's idea of Bangkok having 4 exits via the SkyTrain lines.
Huh. Yeah, that's a neat way to think about navigating the city layout using the train lines.
Makes it sound less intimidating. And they also liked the sort of friendly vibe on the trains, connecting with local life.
Yeah, it's a good point. You do get a slice of everyday Bangkok life on the trains. Okay, point 8 shifts to, well, less pleasant but important stuff, health concerns.
Ah, yes. Tropical climate means bugs and bites. Mosquitoes, dog bites, stomach bugs.
Pretty standard travel risks in the tropics, unfortunately. But they really hammered home the mosquito repellent point.
Yeah, not just for itching, but diseases like malaria, dengue, fever.
Exactly. Those can be serious. So using repellent consistently, especially around dawn and dusk, is really important. And being cautious with stray animals and food hygiene helps too.
Common sense, but good reminders. Okay, point 9 was interesting about healthcare and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, that was quite something. They mentioned significant funding and improvements to Thailand's healthcare system, thanks to the foundation.
Apparently before around 2018, things weren't as good. Dental, hospitals.
That was the perception they shared. It seems like the foundation's involvement might have really helped upgrade facilities, training, access,
And they mentioned a world ranking now, 76.
which suggests, a pretty substantial improvement. Good news for travelers needing care.
Definitely reassuring. Okay, point 10 brings us back to culture, specifically religion.
Buddhism. It's the official religion. And showing respect for beliefs, customs, daily practices is just fundamental for visitors.
Like being respectful in temples, mindful of monk.
Exactly. They compared it to respecting local laws and religions anywhere you travel. It's basic, responsible tourism.
Makes sense. And point 11 builds on that respect theme. How you dress.
Yeah, appropriate attire, especially important for religious sites, but also just generally in public. Avoid super revealing clothes, particularly for women.
And the temple dress codes can be strict, right? Shoulders and knees covered?
Usually, yes. They mentioned you might have to buy or rent a sarong to not dressed appropriately, so better to just plan ahead.
Pack accordingly. Dress modestly. Simple respect.
Precisely. Okay, now for something everyone looks forward to. The food. Point 12.
Ah, Thai food. They were very enthusiastic, basically saying you have to try authentic Thai food in Thailand.
Implying it's just different, better than what you get elsewhere.
Which often is true for local cuisine, isn't it? Fresh ingredients, traditional methods.
Absolutely. Eddie's example of that lime-peppered sea base sounded incredible.
It really did. Makes you think food alone could be the reason to go.
For many people, it absolutely is. Thai food is world famous for a reason. Okay, point 13 connects to food. Affordability.
Right. The cost of living, especially food, seems surprisingly low. Their 100 baht challenge was wild.
It really illustrates the point. 100 baht is what, under $3 US?
Something like that, yeah. And for that, they got rice, chicken thigh and leg, pork skewer, chicken wings, tenders, a proper meal.
It's amazing value.
Yeah.
Definitely challenges that idea that Bangkok is just expensive nightlife. You can eat incredibly well, incredibly cheaply.
Good news for budget travelers. Okay, point
Sure.
14. This was a bit unexpected. Their take on the drinking culture.
Yeah, they called it generously low-key, which might surprise some people.
Definitely. You hear about the party scene, full moon parties, whatever, but they saw something different, like locals exercising in a park while a known nightlife area was quiet.
Yeah, Benetini Park versus Nanasoy Cowboy on the same night. It suggests maybe the party scene is quite localized.
Or just that Thai social life isn't only about bars. There's community stuff, fitness.
Exactly. It's a good reminder not to just rely on stereotypes. See the everyday reality, too.
True. Okay, point 15 deals with something visitors might encounter, especially in certain areas. Sex work.
An important thing to be aware of, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in red light districts. Their main advice was just be firm, be clear if you're approached and not interested.
They mentioned common approaches like, where are you going? Or trying to grab your hand.
Mm-hmm. Hello, handsome, things like that. Just knowing what to potentially expect can help you handle it calmly.
Right. Feel less flustered. Okay, moving to something universally loved, the beaches. Point 16.
And they were raving about them, comparing Thai beaches favorably to places like South America, the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
That is high praise indeed. Mentioning Phi Phi Island, James Bond Island. Iconic spots.
Crystal clear water, amazing scenery. And Eddie's story from Koh Samui sounded lovely. To shallow, clear water, just waiting, having a drink by the bay.
Sounds like paradise. Really highlights the variety too, from busy spots to quiet ones.
For sure. Okay, point 17 takes us back to cultural rules. The feet again.
Another feet rule. This time about pointing them or putting them on furniture.
Yeah, a big cultural no-no. Never point your feet directly at someone, and don't put your feet up on tables or sofas.
Seems minor maybe to some, but it's disrespectful there.
Highly disrespectful. Again, feet are the lowest part. Pointing them at someone, especially towards their head, is offensive. Putting them on furniture is seen as unclean, impolite.
Got it. Definitely remember that one. Okay, 18 is more subtle. Social status.
Right, this is more nuanced.
Yeah.
They suggest social status plays a more significant role in daily interactions in Thailand than maybe in some Western cultures.
How so? They mention things like yielding way in elevators or on sidewalks.
Yeah, and maybe observing different treatment in fancy hotels or restaurants based on how someone looks or is perceived. There's a hierarchical element.
So visitors aren't expected to understand it all, but just be aware it exists.
Pretty much. Just being respectful to everyone is the key takeaway, as always.
Good advice anywhere. Okay, 19 is super serious. Drugs.
Extremely serious. This warning was stark. Thailand's drug laws are incredibly strict.
Zero tolerance, possession, trafficking. The consequences are severe. Prison, deportation.
Absolutely. Their message was crystal clear.
Uh-huh.
Just don't get involved with drugs. At all. Ever. It's not worth the risk.
Cannot stress that enough. Okay, point 20. National pride. Patriotism.
Yeah, they noted it's quite prevalent. The national anthem, Patrium, playing twice a day in public places is a good example.
And their tip about clothing. Avoid wearing other countries' flags.
As a sign of respect for Thai patriotism, yeah. It's a small thing, but shows cultural sensitivity, being a considerate visitor.
Makes sense. And the final main point, 21. Another crucial boundary. The head.
Yes, absolutely. Do not touch a Thai person's head, male or female. Doesn't matter.
Because the head is considered sacred.
The most sacred, spiritually significant part of the body. Exceptions are basically only for, like, very close family, parents with young kids. For visitors, just keep your hands away from people's heads.
Vital rule to know. Okay, and then they had that fascinating bonus insight about smiles.
Right, Thailand, land of smiles. But it's way more complex than that.
Apparently there are like 17 different types of smiles, each
Yeah.
meaning something different.
It's incredible, isn't it? Friendship, politeness, amusement, enjoyment, maybe even embarrassment or apology.
Hmm.
A whole language in a smile.
Wow. And that just shows the depth of the culture. Eddie wanted to research them more.
Yeah, it speaks to how much there is to learn beyond the surface. Makes you think about all the non-verbal cues.
So yeah, as you can see, the learner, Eddie, and Mark's list, it really covers a lot of ground. It's this great mix of super practical stuff and really important cultural nuances.
Absolutely. From weather and airports to food, etiquette, safety.
Yeah.
It's invaluable stuff if you're planning a trip.
We really hope this deep dive has given you a solid starting point, maybe spark some more curiosity about Thailand.
Perhaps you'll even try to spot some of those 17 different smiles yourself.
Huh, maybe. So what stands out most to you, the learner, from all these tips? What other places in Southeast Asia are you wondering about?
Yeah, let us know. This is just